We're going to do opening statements, and in no particular order, I'm going to ask Mr. Shaufler, is it? Stan Shaufler.
Very much.
And by the way, next to him, Catherine Weatbrook, Mike O'Brien, and Jon Lisbin. But I'll ask Mr. Shaufler to start. You have 1 minute. One and a half minutes, excuse me.
Now that I've got my 30 seconds back. Thank you all for coming. I look forward to the opportunity to share some ideas with you that I hope, if I don't carry them forward on into the general election, I hope that those ideas at least are carried forward by whoever the successful candidates are. I'm advocating for community mental health funding primarily. I work for a local agency that provides services to the Wallingford community, Fremont, Finney, Shoreline, this entire area. My offices are on Stoneway Avenue North, and I work with people in a capacity where I help them to find employment, along with other services that would include their meds and housing. So I do work with the homeless population, I do work with the drug-dependent population, the mental health population, and people with developmental disabilities. These seem to be problems that keep manifesting themselves over and over again. I talk to people here who are worried about crime, who are worried about what happens if a park is built. I'd like to help you understand how we address those problems. In my industry, I have had some wonderful, wonderful success stories, and I think I understand what it takes to make success stories out of most of the people out there and relieve your fears. Thank you very much.
Ms. Weatbrook, yes, go ahead. As long as we've got one microphone for all the candidates, let's just go in order.
Thank you very much. I'm Catherine Weatbrook, and I am pleased that you're all here on this beautiful sunny afternoon. After 20 years of being active in the community, where I started in the height of neighborhood planning that has received national and international acclaim, I've learned a lot of things working on parks projects and transportation projects and employment projects and school projects. We need more transparency, we need more collaboration, and we need to reconnect our communities with our government so that we can actually move forward. And I think that those carry through all kinds of projects, whether it's making sure that Green Lake has a master maintenance plan, whether it's making sure that bike lanes are implemented in a way that suits bicyclists and pedestrians and our business communities, whether it's bringing more transit to our communities, whether it's addressing development issues. We need to be more collaborative, and we need to be more transparent so that we have an even better Seattle than we have today for our children, our grandchildren, and for us as we live here. Thank you very much.
Are you waiting for me to start?
Go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Mike O'Brien. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm proud to have served Seattle as a council member for the last 5.5 years. Worked hard on a lot of social justice and environmental sustainability issues. A few things I'll highlight: it helped start the Road to Housing program, which deals with people that are living in their vehicles, getting off the street, connected with services, access to bathrooms, and ultimately back into permanent housing. Helped pass the Climate Action Plan for the city, committing us to being a carbon neutral city by the year 2050. Also passed campaign finance reform legislation that prohibits elected officials from doing any fundraising in the first 2 years of a 4-year term, and prohibits rollovers of surplus funds from one campaign to the next. In the next year, there's 3 issues I want to highlight that are really important. One, this November, we're going to have an opportunity to vote on campaign public financing for Seattle elections, which would be a real game changer for Seattle. I'm working hard on something called an affordable housing linkage fee that would require all new development in Seattle to set aside 5% of their units for affordable housing to create thousands of units. And I want to get light rail to Ballard and West Seattle on the ballot in November of 2016. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jon Lisbin, and I guess my time has started. One thing I'm not is I'm not a politician and I'm not a community activist. I have been running a business for the past 13 years. It's a digital marketing company. and it's become one of the fastest growing private companies in Washington for each of the past 3 years. I've also just completed my master's in public administration from the University of Washington, go Dogs, and got my diploma yesterday, so it's never too late. I'm also a dad, and my kid just asked me a question I hope is not the toughest question I get today, which is, should we have a hamster dad or should we get a rat? Been thinking about that one. And there are a lot of complex issues in the city too, so the things that I want to work on are closing some of the loopholes that developers are using to destroy Central Ballard and other neighborhoods around the area. Mobility issues and transportation, literacy issues, so our kids can have smaller school sizes and can get the type of education that they need for the great jobs and the great high-tech jobs that are available here. And I think that's going to take more efficiency in government and more accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.